Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video on the Infinite Baffle channel. My name is Niall and today we are joined by the brand spanking new Linn 119 bookshelf speakers. Now for a lot of people, when you think of Linn as a hi-fi manufacturer, you think of their legendary iconic LP12 turntables, their Selekt Magic DSM streamers come to mind as well, and sometimes I actually think their speakers can go a little bit under the radar. As I said, these released very recently and they've been branded as a new fun, energetic kind of speaker. So the question is, were we entertained by the Linn 119s? Let's find out. Sorry guys, I couldn't resist. I mean, if you're watching this in the future, this video is going live the same weekend that the Gladiator 2 film is coming out in cinemas. And of course, if you are entertained, make sure to leave a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel. And yeah, let's get properly stuck into this, shall we? So to start off with, we'll cover a couple of the basics. I will put some of the specifications and information on the screen for you all now, and I will also put them in full in the description down below, as well as a link to the speakers for you as well. So all that will be in the description. But yeah, the 119s are hitting the market at £2,500 exactly. Aesthetically, I am a massive fan of these. I think these are the best looking speakers we've looked at in some time. I was a big fan of the Kef Q range and how that was designed, but this takes the cake for me. The finishes are really nice. We've got the oak model next to me right now, and I'm a big fan of this kind of plectrum surround that goes around the driver and the tweeter, which I also really love the fact comes in this caged design, if you like. It's got the little protection around it, and yeah, it kind of, when you think of Linn, you think of traditional kind of old school speakers, and they have got that side to them, but I just think they're quite unique. Again, this plectrum kind of shape around the logo, the tweeter, the driver. I'm a huge fan of. Really beautiful speaker in my opinion. The 119s are a very compact bookshelf speaker as well, as you can kind of see next to me here, but they have got a decent amount of weight to them, I'm pleased to say, coming in at just over 7 kilograms each. These are not a lightweight speaker by any stretch of the imagination, and when you listen to the sound that they put out, I do think that comes across as well. In terms of the finishes that you can choose from, pretty standard options really. These come in the black, white, walnut and the oak that we're joined with today. I really prefer the wooden finishes here because of the fact that the plectrum design stands out against them. Just really big fan of the wooden design as a whole. Without doubt, the most unique feature about the Linn 119s is going to be the ability to use the space optimization alongside the Linn Magic and Selekt DSM units. Now, when we listen to the 119s, we use the Selekt DSM to make the most of this feature and make sure we listen to these in their best possible situation. And I've got to say, as a feature, it's absolutely incredible. What it essentially allows you to do is place them in the most awkward room you could possibly think of, and it will fine-tune the sound to make sure it works as well as possible within that room. We've looked a lot recently at the Kef range, and they've got something similar with the UniQ driver. That's obviously not something that gets tailored to each individual room. It's incredibly effective with the Kef speakers. So if you're familiar with that, kind of think about that technology, but it's kind of tailored for each individual room with the Linn when you partner it up with the Selekt DSM. And I've got to say, as features go for bookshelf speakers, it was absolutely outstanding. As always, we listened to the 119s at Audio Affair, and the demonstration room here is fantastic, but it is a very odd shape. You've got some kind of squiffy off-angle ceilings. It's not a perfect rectangle, and at the end of the day, nobody out there has the perfect space when it comes to listening to hi-fi, or I should say a very select few people have the ability to put their systems into the perfect hi-fi space. So what this space optimization allows you to do is really make the most of the room that you're in and have no concerns about spacing them out or placement of the speakers. They are going to sound absolutely incredible in almost any space you can put them in when partnered up with the Selekt DSM and Magic DSM. The only downside to the space optimization really is the fact that it's a Linn exclusive feature. So you could of course use the 119s with other amplifiers and other products, but to get the absolute maximum out of them and to take advantage of the space optimization that's built in, you are of course going to want to be using that Magic or Selekt DSM, which again is what we did when listening to them. Obviously, not only are you unlocking the space optimization when you partner them up with the Selekt Magic DSM, but you've got to also remember the fact that when these are manufactured, tested, put together, they will have been done so with the Selekt and the Magic DSM in mind. So they are fine-tuned by ear to work alongside those products. So again, it really does pay dividends. If you can partner them up with those amplifiers, you're going to be getting a lot more out of them, dare I say, than with anything else, in my opinion. It's also worth noting that if you did want to partner these up with a third-party amplifier, that these do have a nominal impedance of 4 ohms. Now, somebody did comment on a video fairly recently saying that they thought that 4 ohm speakers were a bit more difficult to get into a system and to get the most out of. I've never had too much of a problem on that front personally, but I would say, again, I'm going to hammer this point home a lot today. Again, if you use this with the Selekt or the Magic, obviously you do not have to worry about that whatsoever. The speakers are tuned to go with those systems and will sound absolutely fantastic, as we're going to touch upon now. When it comes to the sound of the 119s, I mentioned right at the start of the video how these are quite a heavy bookshelf, coming in at just over 7 kilograms per box, and how I thought that played a big role in how they sounded. And to expand on that a little bit more, what I was talking about was just the sheer size of the soundstage that these put out. It was really, really impressive for such a small bookshelf speaker, and partnered along with this massive soundstage is this really nice tight bass response as well, and it delivers a really accurate, crystal clear, transparent sound. I mean, the way Linn have advertised these is as a fun, engaging speaker, and whilst they are really engaging, I do agree with that. I think their biggest feature to me is just that accuracy and transparency that you get when listening to them. Just to quantify that a little bit more, I've mentioned this on the channel before when we've spoken about different speakers, but the ideal scenario when you're listening to something is that you want to hear it as it's designed to be heard. You don't want any interference, you don't want any outside noise coming in from the system, and that's what these do really, really well. They're a transparent, clear speaker. It's like looking into a glass window, no interference whatsoever, and really listening to the music as it's designed to be heard. Again, just to quantify this a bit more, I mean, a word I often use and I would apply here again is musical, and I'm bringing this up intentionally because somebody commented on a video recently saying, you know, well, you say something sounds musical, what does that actually mean? Can you put a bit more of a descriptor onto that? And I'm going to do that by saying that they're very engaging, they've got fantastic timing, they're very accurate, and it's the kind of thing where you find yourself tapping along, clicking along, getting lost in the music a bit. So when I say musical, that's kind of what I mean. You get surrounded, engulfed by the sound, and it's just a really engaging and fun speaker to listen to. It's worth adding in as a proviso as well. I mean, if you're ever interested in a speaker like this, you can't actually beat going out there and going to have a listen for yourself, because don't forget, everybody's ears are different, everybody's got different preferences when it comes to the sound that they enjoy. I think these 119s are fantastic, but for you to really form an opinion, go out there. You know, again, I've listened to these at Audio Affair. Go and have a listen for yourself, see what you think, and then you can kind of really get a feel for whether something's going to be for you or if it's potentially it's not. Looking at other options at a similar kind of price point, the big one that stands out to me would be the ATC SCM19, which is another favourite speaker of mine, to be honest with you. I think that gives you a little bit more detail compared to the 119s here, but outside of that, especially when partnered up with this space optimization function, the 119s are just a much more well-rounded speaker. I think they've got a bigger soundstage. I think you've got a better bass response from my experience as well. So if you're after detail, maybe something like the ATCs could be a really good shape, but for everything else, especially again when used with the Selekt DSM, these 119s were just a much more well-rounded speaker. There's a reason that Linn are held in such high regard in the hi-fi community, and I mentioned at the very start of the video, you know, when you think of Linn, you think of turntables. Speakers aren't the first thing that come to mind, but these 119s are absolutely fantastic, and I do again think that as a speaker manufacturer, Linn are a little bit underrated. I think these are a well-rounded, energetic, engaging speaker, and if you've got the chance to go and listen to them, then I would definitely take up that opportunity. But if you have listened to them, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Again, I've got to say a massive thank you to your continued feedback and support on the channel. We're on a real roll at the moment of looking at some really new, exciting products, and that's going to continue again for at least the next couple of weeks. So again, none of that would be possible if it wasn't for your guys' support. So thank you so much for that. Again, that's going to wrap up this video. If you enjoyed it, leave a thumbs up, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll catch you all next week.